All right. Hey guys, how are you? You guys ready to learn a little bit about pork action tonight? Look at this. Look at all this going on over here. Look at that. So I just want to tell everybody we're doing a dual live. We're doing a Facebook Live over here with the Kansas Farm Food Connection, and we're going to do one here. So I'm mainly going to be addressing them, so bear with us. Although it doesn't mean you guys can act crazy. So just calm down and be good, be gentle, be nice. It's a family-run feed. And I'm going to go ahead and hand this off to Dad and let him take over, because we're going to be running these two guys are my two cameramen, and we're going to have some fun here. So first off, I know everybody likes to say, "Where are you from?" So tell us, where are you from? Anybody? Anybody? Yeah, we don't need any Ziploc bags over here. So salt. Did you see anybody come and stroll through there, Burke, at all?
Not on my side.
No, okay. Dad, you see anybody?
Hello, welcome everybody. We are so excited to see you today, and in a couple minutes, Scott will get you kicked off.
All right, Dad, come over here and check out what we got going on here. Oh, we're good now. 600. 600 on that blue sapphire acorn right there. You want to give him a little peek? Yeah, you want a little peek? Check out that bad boy. Well, don't melt my phone, so don't get too close. Burke, you see it over there?
Oh yeah.
That's what that handle's for. You can really... Ooh, look at that. That's a selfie stick. Actually, it's worth something. All right. So we're going to be talking about all of this tonight. Our light's good. This is fantastic. All right, Jody, when do you want me to get going on this? We can start talking about all kinds of tips and tricks.
Let's start rocking and rolling right now. And just again, if you didn't hear Scott, Scott, do a quick intro and then ask everybody where they're from. I'm always curious.
Okay, so I am Scott Thomas. I am the Grillin' Fool. I run a website called grillinfools.com. We do step-by-step, picture-by-picture, foolproof grilling instructions on that website, so that you don't have to make the same stupid mistakes that Dad and I and everybody else has made over the years. We hope to mitigate that. We also run an Instagram feed it's also called Grillin' Fools, and we like to just show great stuff that's going on the internet. People are cooking. I am rocking my bacon pants today. I don't break them out very often. Almost wore the fire pants, but I decided since we're talking pork with the Kansas Farm Food Connection, I'm going to talk about all this lovely pork right here. I thought bacon pants is more important. And, of course, my bacon shirt. So we're going all pig all the time here. So we're going to start off with talking about... Oh, first, I need to know where everybody's from. So let us know. Chime in where you're from. If you see somebody interesting, Dad, Burke, let them know. Jody, shout them out if you see something interesting. And feel free to just launch questions at us. If you got anything you're interested in asking about, ask about it. And in the meantime, I'm going to ask Jody to talk about what is the Kansas Farm Food Connection. Jody, take it away.
Mexico's on.
Absolutely. Well, thank you, Scott, and thank you again for being here with us tonight. I know grilling season's coming up, and it's very important that you know how to cook meat well. Why? Because meat is expensive, folks. And even the least expensive of meats, you don't want to have to buy them and then not cook them right. So that's why we're here today. So Scott is one of the people that we work with to help you with step-by-step grilling instructions at Kansas Pork Farmers or Kansas Pork Association. And the Kansas Pork Farmers are a part of a larger group called the Kansas Farm Food Connection. And what they do is they connect you with ideas, recipes, information about farms, the things you need to know to cook better food, to eat better, and to live better, pretty much. So I think that's about it. Scott, you want to take it away and show us that beautiful pork loin you got there?
Yeah, I do. Dad, did you have a question there?
Yeah, we're getting folks from Brazil, Australia, Russia, and South Carolina, and Puerto Rico, and all over St. Louis.
All right, St. Louis, and all you guys are great. So here's what I've got. I've got a pork loin. Now, this is the much maligned pork loin. This stuff, it sells for, it's boneless, doesn't have a lot of fat on it, it's lean. Sells for about $1.29 a pound if you find it on sale. That's so cheap. If I were to buy this carved up into boneless chops, it'd be $5.99 a pound. So what we're doing here is we're going to teach you guys how to save some money. Okay? So this end of the loin is the rib end, and this is loin end. This is going to be leaner. This is going to have, it's darker meat. It's going to be a little fattier. You can see the striations of fat through there. And mostly what happens is when you do a pork loin, about this much, 6 inches or so of this end gets cut off and made into a roast. Just like this. Okay? That's it. Look, I made a roast. Now they're going to charge you more for that because they cut it off this. So, and then this about, from here to here, they usually make these center cut pork chops. Okay? And you can take those and look how hard it is to make an inch thick chop. Look, I just saved myself $3.70 a pound. $4.70 a pound. I'm doing the math wrong. Okay? So you cut these into chops and make your own. So this saves you a lot of money. So the question is, why pork loin? Because, well, it's delicious. It's pretty lean. This end is a little fattier, so it's actually got more flavor. And it's cheap. Inexpensive. You don't have to break the bank. You can feed the family. I don't know how. I got a family of 6. I could feed my whole family from this chunk of meat. What does run you, Dad?
That run me about $11 to $12.
$11, $12. I could feed my family 3 nights on this bad boy right here. Now, there's a layer of fat on the bottom here. Now you can see that layer of fat. You could trim that off. You don't need to. Most of it's going to melt away, and it's going to keep it moist and lean. So I'm getting down to the end here. I want to make sure I get 3 even slices, 3 even pork chops out of this. And then here we go. And then we got that last one. Now, these are just a center cut. This is what you see all the time. You can actually, if you wanted to, man, that's some thick fat right there. You could cut these thicker and butterfly them out. You could cut them even thicker and then cut a pouch in here and stuff it with something. What I like is this guy right here, and I want to know if this looks familiar to you guys. Notice this is from the ribbon. Notice this piece right here. Does it look familiar? It's kind of like a spinalis from a ribeye, and that's because that's what it is. This is a ribeye. This is your pork ribeye. So a lot of times they cube this up and make stew meat out of it or whatever. This is my favorite pork chop right here. Is this one right there? I prefer these over all the other ones. So we talked about why we should go with a pork loin. Does anybody have any questions so far? Jody, you got anything over there?
I have been looking at our question sheet, and I think for now, we got a lot of people, folks from Arizona, Salina, Pleasanton, Kansas. Folks, you got any questions about this whole pork loin? You know, these things can be a little bit deceiving, a little bit scary if you're not comfortable cooking with them. But just like Scott says, they will save you a lot of money. The other day I walked in, it was $1.29 a pound for an entire pork loin.
That's it.
Sometimes I'll even get like a half a pork loin.
So
And I'll just slice them into chops. Like there's nothing wrong with this.
It took me less than 5 minutes to take that massive chunk of meat, make a roast, make, what do I got here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8 chops here of the center cut, and then I got 5 more chops. I got kind of an end piece. I would eat that. I'd sear that off and eat that. Now the question is, people are looking at this as going, it's lean, right? Which is healthier, but it also could be dry. And that's where people get afraid of this thing. So we're going to teach you some tricks on how to make them not dry. So the first one is salt and liquid are your friends. Salt and liquid. We're going to make a brine. And I have a simple go-to brine that I use. And I use it for pork. I use it for chicken. I use it for whatever. But as I just take, if I can find it, apple cider. Okay? If I can't, apple juice works well too. So, and it basically, it's a chemistry experiment. So, or yeah, if you can't find either one of these, just go with water. Water will work too. But here's what brining does for you. What it does is the salt pushes liquid out of the brine and into the meat. So now you've made the meat juicier. Okay? Now you have a larger window to get it done right. Now, the salt actually breaks down the connective tissues in the meat, so it makes it more tender. So now you're juicier and tender. You're 2 for 2. These are both good things. Now, if you use water, you're done. There. But if you use apple juice or apple cider, you're actually adding a sweetness and a flavor profile into the meat. So now you've got juicier, more tender, and more flavorful. Okay? These are all very, very good things. So all the ratio is a cup of salt per gallon of water. So I have a quarter cup of salt, and I just got to pour a quart of apple juice or cider, whatever you want to do here, and then we whisk it all together. Let's see how much we got here. 1 quart is right there. All right, I'm a little low. I think I'm looking down. There we go. All right, so there's my brine. I'm gonna whisk it up a little bit. I got a whisk right here, and I've got. Okay, so you're gonna just want to get this dissolved. We're not gonna take the whole time to do that. We're gonna sit here and watch me whisk. You take your pork chops. Boom, 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 boom. And then you pour this in, okay? I'm not going to pour it in because I'm not going to risk it dumping out, but I have some that are already made right here, okay? There's a butterfly one. Let me just find these. And I'm going to take you to the next level here on how to cook them, and we're going to cook these for you right now. I've got a grill over here, low heat, medium heat, about 300. And I'm going to get these on there. Right next to the slab of ribs. We're going to be talking ribs here in a minute, so hang on. Okay? All right. Now I've got a plate setter in here on this grill to keep it from the direct heat from that fire down below. You got that? You got that? Yep. All right. So, I'm going to hit them with a little rub, just to level them up. I did not, if you notice, I did not salt these. One of the first things you're going to want to do is salt your meat, but not with the brine, because they just got all that salt liquid on it, salt solution. So you don't want to do that. So I'm going to take these. I got them on one side. Yeah.
So we got a question. Can you repeat again what is in that brine solution?
That's real easy. It's apple juice and salt. So the ratio is 1 cup of salt per gallon of water. So in this case, I used a quart of liquid, in this case, and they're done. That's it. We're going to close that up.
Say it again.
We used a quart. We don't have a Vincent Reed thermometer. You got one over there, Dad? We used a quart, so we only use a quarter cup of salt. So, and then you would just mix this up and soak it. You only want to brine for about 12 hours. If you go longer than 12 hours, it's going to kind of turn into kind of ham. You're almost going to cure it. So keep it at 12 hours. Okay, so what do we got here? We've got 20. We've got it. It's been on. We got it. We got the brine. We've got it seasoned up. We've got them on the grill on a slow grill. Just going to let the smoke action do its thing right there. Left a little bit, and then we're going to let those go for a little while, let those cook, and we're going to talk about the other stuff here. We're going to get back to those a little later. I don't know where my Thermopin is. We didn't bring that out. So we're going to have to go and get a Thermopin. What's that?
Yeah, so let's not forget we've got that $100 gift card to give out.
Oh, that's right.
Like a secret you got these guys waiting for?
Yeah, so let me you guys over here on Instagram, if you go over to Facebook and tune in to Kansas Farm Food Connection, you have a chance to answer a question to win a $100 gift card if you want to slide over there and watch. We're watching this. Dad, Thermopin's in the house. You might want to take that feed on up, and I'll keep talking here. Or Burke will hold it, and run up and grab the Thermopin because we don't need that for these pork chops. So we brined them, we seasoned them, we've got them in there. We've got now we're going to talk about what else we can do to keep these things moist. And one of the other big things is that do not cook them to 160 degrees. Remember, it was always we got to cook pork till it's white. We can't have any pink left. Well, the USDA changed that rule and said, no, you can now cook to 145. So basically medium rare on your pork. We just don't have the trichinosis anymore. We don't have all those diseases that have plagued us for centuries. It's our production is so clean and so pure and so crisp that we don't have that anymore. So that's the other thing is now we have a window of 145 to 160 rather than taking it to 160 and then oops left it on for 5 minutes too long and I'm at 175 180 and I'm eating shoe leather. So that's what we're going with here. So Dad just went and got my Thermopen, so my instant read thermometer, so I can go ahead and check those later, and I'll just put that in my back pocket for later. And while we're doing that, we're going to talk about brats and sausages and ribs. Let's do the ribs first. We're going to want to slide this stuff out of the way. All these pork chops we got, because we're going to get to this cutting board underneath. So what are we going to do here? I'm actually these ribs over here are done. We're going to need to make room for these brats here in a minute. I'm going to pull those off. Set those right there. Let's look at it over here.
Scott, another question for the crowd.
Sure.
What kind of charcoal or grilling pellets are you using?
We're just using a lump charcoal. I right now we're kind of we're fuel agnostic. I use propane. I've used pellets. I use charcoal. But when I use charcoal, I really believe in going with a lump. I don't want the binders that hold together briquettes. I don't want that into my charcoal that actually transfers into my food. So what we're going to do here, we're going to show you how to prep these ribs. Okay. So first thing, you start over here, and it's bone side up. Okay. And what you got is you got this membrane right here, this thick membrane. It's chewy. You don't want this membrane. You want to take this off of here. And there's all kinds of ways to do it. You can shove a chopstick under here, or the tine of a fork, or the back of a spoon, but really your best friend right here is paper towels. And you just got to get a good grip on the end there. And he's not coming up. Oh, I got the corner of it. This is harder to do with gloves on and paper towels.
So while you're doing this, Scott, I got another question for you.
Okay, here, watch this, guys. Look at that membrane coming back. Okay, come on, Jody. Get me with that question.
All right, it looks like we've got Haley wondering what's the best way to do ribs, like for flavoring.
Haha. Haley, I'm going to tell you my favorite way of doing ribs. And here's the rest of the skin. Well, first is get a blowtorch, and I would have had a blowtorch here if I had thought about it. But what I like to do is I like to season them, dry rub them, put them on the grill when they're almost done, cover them with a glaze, a sweet and savory glaze, and then hit them with a blowtorch and caramelize it on the ribs. So that's my favorite way. And grillandfools.com, www.grillandfools, no second G there, grillin, not grilling, fools.com. We have blowtorch ribs on the website with step-by-step instructions. So now we've got these ribs, and you can brine these too. Okay, these were not. Now always season them this way first. I'm going to show you this. I'm going to show you why. I got some salt here. You don't have to use pink Himalayan sea salt, but my salt grinder, my regular salt grinder broke like a day ago, so I'm using this. Okay, that. And then we hit a rub. Oh, I did the wrong way. You gotta start this way.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah. Okay, this is why. You gotta do it this way. And then I totally did it backwards. And then you put this rub on, and it'll stick. And the way these bones are shaped, okay?
Concave.
The concave of the bones will keep the rub off of the board. So like all my salt that was just on the middle that I put down is now stuck to the board because I did it opposite. So now my rub is up under there. I can finish up this side. I got to redo some salt down the middle because all my salt that was in the middle stuck to the cutting board and reapply it. So I just showed you how not to do it by not doing it the wrong way. All right, good. And then I put these on the grill. This is just my simple. I put these on the grill about 300 degrees, and it's hot. Most people don't do it that hot. I do, and I put them on the grill for 2 hours at 300, and that's it. I just do it whatever rub you like. That's my basic kind of simple. I just want some ribs. Again, you can put blowtorch them at the end. Love to blowtorch them. And I'm going to tell you something, guys. You're having a barbecue and you bust out the blowtorch, you're going to get some people's attention. So feel free to go after that blowtorch right there, and it's just a plumber's torch. It's 20 bucks. I think it comes with a can of propane on it, or butane, and you just glaze it off. I use a combination of it's like apple preserves, Worcestershire sauce, and some garlic, and it's great. So it's fantastic. So check it out. You can find it on the website. I'm not going to put these ribs on because we got the slab right over here that's done, and they got a little hot, so we're going to be fine there. But I am going to check on my pork chops real quick and see how they're doing. This is not going to take long because they're pretty thin. Let's see here. All right, so that's 125, 127. It's one in the middle at 100. This is on the outside edge near the heat. So 103, 100. So these we want to take them to 145. Okay, I'm gonna hold these over there. I'm gonna put these over here. Okay, because we're going to talk about bratwurst. We're going to talk about sausages. We're going to leave these on here for just a few more minutes, and then I'm going to sear the bejesus out of them over here. Oh my God, we're over 700 degrees on this thing. Whoa! Yeah, I'm going to turn this down a little bit. My acorn is smoking.
How hot?
Over 700. It capped out at 700. It doesn't go any higher than that. I pegged the speedometer. So let's close this up. Let that go. Okay. So.
Another question before you go to Fox.
Okay.
So, I don't know if you have anything in mind for your secret question quite yet, but I think a good secret question is your favorite ribs are blowtorch ribs. Like that
They are.
is pretty legit.
That's my favorite ribs, blowtorch ribs. It's not even close. Well, now, you know what? I do get a hankering for jerk ribs because they're super spicy, but for the most part, it's jerk ribs. I mean, sorry, blowtorch ribs, jerk ribs just whenever I get a...
Okay, then that's what it is, Scott. So everyone in the comments below, if you want to enter to win $100 to ease your grocery bill, $100 of Visa gift cards from Kansas Farm Food Connection, we need you to tell us Scott's favorite ribs in the comments below.
Blowtorch. All right. So, I think I covered everything with the ribs that I wanted to cover. And now the bratwurst. And you guys are thinking, I cook bratwurst all the time. You're not going to teach me a damn thing about bratwurst, okay? Darn thing, I should say. Pardon my French. But here's the thing. 90% of people do bratwurst wrong, okay? Let's get a show of hands. Who cooks them hot and fast? Yeah, that's wrong. Who either boils them before they go on the grill or boils them after they come off the grill? Who? Which one? Raise your hand. Yeah, that's wrong too. Who got the bright idea from to poke them with little holes like with a needle so that the skins don't rupture, but it still allows the fat to escape? You did that? Anybody do that? That's wrong too. That was Dad's tip. Yeah, that was his. He actually put the needle into a cork, a wine cork, so it had a little handle, so he could do that. And I started doing some research, and I went, no, that's not. You don't want to do that. So, why don't we do any of these things? First of all, hot and fast. You do hot and fast, the skin on these bratwursts are just going to rupture, and all that glorious fat that's inside this is going to be in your grill and not in your mouth. And you're going to have flare-ups, you're going to have fire. It's not a good thing. Second, boiling. Let's talk about food science here. What do we do when we put meat in boiling water? Are we making delicious meat? Or are we making soup? Because the answer is soup. Okay? When you put a chicken in a pot, you're leaching all the flavor out to make that great broth, not make great chicken. Okay? So don't leach the flavor out of your bratwurst to make tasty, whatever it is, your tasty, I guess, brat beer nobody's going to drink. Okay? It's on your grill. Now, okay, you're cooking for 30 or 50 or whatever, and you got a ton of brats. It's okay to put them in a warm beer bath. That's just not even a boil, not even barely a simmer, just to keep them warm and moist while people are coming through the line. That's okay. But do not boil the brats before or after you cook them. And also, poking holes in there seems like we'll just let that so they won't, the skins won't rupture. Well, if you cook them too hot, the skins won't rupture. So, if you cook them low enough, I should say. So,
somebody asked, does that mean indirect?
Indirect, right. So I have a grill that's 700, and I have a grill that's 250. Which one should these brats go on?
Raise your hand.
Black or blue? Yeah, we're going to go black. So I made some room over here with these pork chops. And so those are... I mean, if you think about it, how many times you've been to that party? You throw one of these. I almost want to throw one of these on here so it explodes, but then I don't want to wear the because this thing is so hot that this thing's going to really explode. I don't really want to. I'm not doing it.
Don't waste it.
I'm not doing it. I'm not going to do it. We'll eat these later. So I'm just going to put these over my plates over here so that I don't. And then we're going to get a little more air in here. Get this going a little more. Okay. So, you want to check we got to check the temperature of that of these pork chops because we're going to give them a quick sear over here on the side once they get close. 110, 113, 114, 119. Okay, we're getting there within 20 to 30 degrees. I'm going to go ahead and start searing. Ooh, this thing is so hot.
Hold still.
Yeah, don't get anywhere close to that. Yeah, give me that brush.
So Scott, while you're kind of in hold here, we had a question about what do you do to get wood flavor or wood flavor?
Okay, so you want to get. Put that guy right there. You want to put. You want to use wood chunks. I like wood chunks more than wood chips. Wood chips, even if you soak them, they don't last very long, and you got to keep adding them and keep adding them and keep adding them. And this is going to be done and done fast, by the way. So I got a cutting board right here. So
that was oak chop.
we used oak in here. I love oak. Chunks of oak, and I don't. People are always about. Does it need to be? Okay, we got some grill marks there. They need to be, aged or seasoned for. No, I had a pear tree, some branches cut off a pear tree, and I cooked with them that afternoon the chunks for the food editor of the local paper, and he didn't say a word, and he loved it. So look at that. There we go. So we're going to take these up. Let's go. These are not going to take very long. I'm actually getting a sunburn standing next to this grill. It's so hot. I think this is the first one flipped. Oh, look at that. Okay, I'm going to give this a little push down just to make sure they get better grill marks. What's that? Well, okay, so if we weren't doing this for television or for camera, and I didn't have, I'd take the grill grate out of this one and remove the plate setter, and then put a little more charcoal in there and then put it back on in a minute, or after it got hot. So that's it. I mean, this makes it easier so we can transfer everything because we're doing this for television. It's kind of like for video. It's like that when you go to you watch those cooking shows and they're like, here's how we prepare it, and they get it all ready, and then they go over to the oven and they go, and here's what it looks like done, and that's kind of what we did here. So, and I have a lot of grills, so I can pull that off. So we're gonna get that, and we're gonna get this guy. Oh, look at those grill marks. There we go. Okay. So I'm going to see if we got, already. There we go. Oh, we're doing good. All right. So these are not going to take long at all to get our nice grill marks and bring them up to temp. And here's the thing. If you put them over here and you get your grill marks and say they're not up to temp, they're not up to where you want them to be, put them back over there and let them finish up. They don't have to. You don't have to finish them here and just take them straight to the cutting board. You can throw them over there. So I'm gonna just give them a little nudge here so they have good contact with the. I'm not trying to squeeze any juices out. I'm just trying to make sure they have good contact with with those grill grates. That one is not. Actually, you know what? Let's move this up a little higher.
What's your tempy?
Yeah, where's my temp? How are we looking on temp? Because these are not. They're not. Thickest one. 140, 150. All right, so we're going to pull that one off. Yeah, that's fine. All right. There we go. Look at those grill marks. Oh, yeah. Look at that, guys. All right. So we're going to go right here. Get this one a little more. And we're going to let these rest for a couple of minutes. Just a little bit. Just a little nonchalant. It's a little black there. But we're going to let these rest for a little bit. And we're going to we'll slice into them. And we'll chow a little bit. All right. So I'm going to close this up and try to get this sucker to...
Just a reminder, everybody, if you're just joining us, so when the
All right, so we're gonna let those rest just a little longer. You can see the juice on the top. I mean, they're just sweating. It's just pouring out of them. So, anybody got any more questions? Anybody want to ask anything else? Porcine related, brine related, brat related, rib related. Oh, here's another trick. Come here. Another good thing to do is when you put your rub on your ribs like this, don't put them straight on the grill. Wait till it all melts in and it's kind of bonded to the meat like this. If you put it straight in, that rub can kind of get mealy on top. But the way this is right here, it's going to be perfect. It's already bonded to the meat, so you don't have to worry about soaking it down with some juice or like that for some apple juice, or whatever. Try to get get rid of that mealy texture. It's already just bonded, so it's great. So it's really starting to pull into the pores of the meat, and it's going to add some flavor. Oh, I feel like I feel like we can just slice a couple of these. Look at this. Oh, they're still nice and hot. All right. So.
Would that be your cameraman's dinner?
All right, well, looks like
Do you see how shiny this is? Look how shiny that is. Look at that. You see that? You see that? That's a pork chop, guys. You see what's running out on that thing? It's still running out. That's a center cut pork chop. Well, let's see here. Oh yeah. You guys want a little nugget?
Sure.
Here, guys, take that. And we, it's still juicy, and there's no pink. We took it to 150, 160, thanks to a 700 plus grill. But it's wonderful.
Fantastic.
Yep. All right. So.
Hey, Scott, it looks like we're losing you a little bit on and off on the side, and we're bringing up a pretty good amount.
Okay.
But it sounds like it's really good.
Oh, did you guys see me squeeze the juice out of that? Oh, that's the one I squeezed. Let me.
For some reason, it's getting even hard to hear you right now. So
Watch.
I'm
Watch.
not sure if anyone's having problems, just me.
Watch this. Look at that.
That's what brining does for you.
That's what brining does for you. Jody, are you hearing us?
Hey, we got a really, really important question, Scott.
Okay.
Kaden asked, he doesn't want to be a copycat, but he wants to know where you got your bacon pants.
My wife got me those. And they got them from a place called Loudmouth. But Loudmouth golf pants. I don't think they make them anymore. But that's where I got them. They're not cheap. But they're kind of a special thing when I do TV or video. I might wear something like this. And so my bacon pants. You might be able to find them as like a chef's pants too. You might be able to find a chef's supply store that might carry something like this too. So, and then of course I got my pig shirt. So I'm all porcined up. All right. So where are we at on time? How we doing, guys?
6:34.
6:34. So we've gone 30 minutes. Do we want to keep going here? Do we want to take some more questions? What do you want to do, Jody? I don't know if she can hear me.
You know, Scott, I think we've wrapped it up. Let me look one more time for questions. If anyone has any burning questions, make sure you post them right now. And kind of while I close out everything, we at Kansas Pork Farmers really do thank the Kansas Farm Food Connection for everything they do. We're pretty lucky we work with someone like Scott on a regular basis. And if you guys do want to see more recipes, the great thing about Scott's recipes, specifically grilling recipes, can
Yep.
find a simple recipe with a lot of pictures, a lot of through, told me that how to do whatever I needed to do. And he's very timely. Those are beautiful chops, by the way. And we're just really excited to have him. We're really excited to be here. Sounds like Emily wants to sew some bacon pants up. Maybe that's going to be her next big money making scheme. So if anyone sees Emily on this comment feed, we do have a question. Denise wants to know any favorite seasonings or basically salt and pepper.
I'm not a salt snob. Like, I got this. I bought this at one of these. I bought it was cheap. It was one of these discount stores. It's Himalayan sea salt. I've done the Himalayan sea salt side by side with just plain old kosher salt and couldn't tell the difference. So don't waste your money on this. I paid less than what I paid for normal salt. Like I said, it's one of those discount shops. So I don't really do that. Now pepper I do. I'm kind of a pepper junkie. Okay, and I usually have both white pepper and black pepper on when I season. And the reason I do that is because each kind of pepper hits a different spot on the tongue. Red pepper, green pepper, pink pepper, black pepper, white pepper. Well, my two favorites are black and white, and so I will use both black and white pepper on almost everything I do. So I love having just that one grinder for each, so they're great. I mean, and they if you're using a grinder, it never goes stale. If you use just pepper like it's already made into flakes, then it's gonna go stale after a while. So you want to use the grinders. The grinders are cheap. You get them everywhere for a couple of bucks, and buy them in bulk in the bags of the peppercorns. The peppercorns can be left on the counter in an open cup for years, and as soon as you grind off the top layer, it's going to be fine. So be fresh as can be. So that's what I do. Play around with those. Experiment. Try different stuff. As far as, I have so many different rubs, and it just depends on what I feel like I'm doing. One day I might want spicy, and I'll go to jerk. One day I want sweet, and I'll go, or my kids want something sweet. Whatever it is, it just depends on what maybe I want uber garlicky, and I'll go super garlicky. Just whatever, experiment. Find good brands that you like, and support them. A lot of these guys are guys who just have a dream to make a rub and have be on the store shelf, and they came up with a great a combination in the garage or in their kitchen, and they came up with something, and they are trying to make a living out of it. So go support those guys. Any other questions?
All right, I think that wraps us up, Scott. I think we're kind of at the end. Anything grilling advice that you would give?
Yeah, season well. Find good meat. Find a good meat cutter. They like to be called meat cutters more than butchers. Find one. They'll tell you what's good. They'll tell you when they've got chuck eye steaks in, or terrace majors, or tri-tip, and try some of those lesser cuts that are amazing and for a fraction of the cost if you're paying for more expensive stuff. So they'll find you the good stuff. Season well. That's the biggest complaint. People, they under season and they want to season after the fact. I don't like that. Salt everything unless you're brining it. The salt's already in the brine, so salt it well. Over salt. I like to over salt, and I want that. We don't ever have a salt shaker on the table. We do all of our salt when we're prepping, except for French fries. That's the only thing. And the other thing is practice. All you're really trying to do is get consistent. So I highly recommend some sort of instant read thermometer. Cooking on a day like today, beautiful day here in St. Louis, 70-something degrees, sun was out. That's one thing. Grilling on a 50-degree day in fall that's really windy might take twice as long, or might add 50% of your cook time. So you want to be consistent. And so don't cook the time, cook the temperature. That's what you need an instant read thermometer. That was the thing that helped me get to where I'm at more than any other tool. More than any grill, more than anything else, is an instant read thermometer. So I knew exactly, I was cooking the temp, not the time. That's all I got, I think.
Got it. Well, thank you, sir. Thanks you and your team for making some delicious looking pork.
Aiming at each other, guys.
Everyone make sure to go out and
Thanks,
follow,
Bert.
Grilling Fools. If you're not following him already online, Grilling Fool Dad right there.
Yep, that's my dad. That's Grilling Fool Greg. He writes for the website too.
All right, you guys, we're going to wrap this up, and we thank you so much.
All right, you gonna wrap it up here? I'm gonna go over here. I'll talk to these guys real quick on this one, and then.
By the way, Victor Von somebody there wanted to know how often you shave your head.
How often do I shave my head? About once a week. Just bick it off. I don't mess around. I just take a bick to it and I get rid of it. Saves me a lot of money on shampoo. I just have to use bar soap. So, guys, thanks for coming out. Thanks for kind of being there while we were catering to the Kansas Farm Food Connection. That was a deal that they wanted me to work with them and help them out. And I just wanted to let you guys kind of come along because we thought we were going to share some pretty cool information. And I hope you guys learned something. I hope you caught all that. I don't know how much you could hear Jody when she was fielding questions. I probably should have repeated all of her questions, so I apologize for that. But I just want to thank you guys for coming out and listening. Somebody just asked what my favorite cut of ribs are. And my favorite cut of ribs are baby back ribs. Up here, along high on the hog. That's where high on the hog comes from. It means you're eating well. That's where the baby backs come from. They're on the top of the back of the ribs, the back ribs, close to the tenderloin. That's my favorite. So, hey, again, I thank you guys. We're gonna start tearing this down and maybe open an adult beverage or two, and you guys have a great time. And we'll be doing now that we're warming up. When we had a brutal winter. We are going to be doing a lot more of these. We're going to be cooking on a lot more. You know, we got new cookers this year to play around with, and we still got the American Muscle over here to go along with the Acorns and the O-Fire. So we're going to be doing all kinds of stuff. Somebody said make more vids, more live vids. Well, I'll be doing more lives, but we're also going to be doing more video in general. I've hired a videographer, and we're going to tackle that. I never really attempted videos, but like for YouTube or like that, I only really did it for here. It's a different animal. So when are you planning to do beef ribs? You know, I haven't done beef ribs in a long, many years, as a matter of fact.
I'm ready.
So we probably need to do that soon. That's a good call. And I'm kind of craving them. I'm like, you know, it's not something that's commonly available at the barbecue restaurants. They do it every once in a while. So we're going to be doing some beef ribs soon. So we'll get on that. Dad, mental note: beef ribs. Look at these. Look at these. I'm still over here talking, and these two guys are over here chattering away, each of them with a beer in their hand. He's writing notes. Yeah, you guys didn't see this. This is all the stuff we had to cover. This is our notes to cover. Make sure we covered everything. Try to make it all professional like.
You need to have me do the printing next time.
Yeah, evidently my handwriting ain't so good. My handwriting could be gooder, as they said. So. Some nice skirt steak with some chimichurri. Yeah, I'm actually talking to a guy who makes an amazing chimi, and he's bottling it. He's going to start selling it, and I'll have more on that soon. I can't wait for you guys to try.
In the freezer right now.
What's that?
I have a skirt steak.
You have a skirt steak in the freezer right now. Yeah, beef ribs. Although I get hell when I post them because they're so jello-y, so buttery, and then people are like, "Oh, that's disgusting. I'm not eating that." And I'm like, "Get out of here." So that's okay. I love them. So somebody asked me. No, I'm not answering that question. I'm not going there. I'm not going to pick one of those two. Any other questions? Otherwise, I think I might have to go get myself. Well, I just have to go right over here. Let's see here. So it's ironic. You want to see something funny? So that's my Budweiser beer fridge. It's out here in my deck, but not a single Anheuser-Busch product in there.
Best steak I ever had.
How about a Bell's Oberon? If you know your Shakespeare, Oberon is the king of the fairies in Midsummer Night's Dream. Make room, fairy. Here comes Oberon. Yeah, I know a little Shakespeare. Thank you very much. I'm not just a grilling fool. Thank you guys for coming out. I really do. Really appreciate it. You guys shouldn't be thanking me. I'm thanking you guys. I mean, if you guys didn't come out to this, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be doing this. I'd be doing something else. So, and it's nothing more fun than what I'm doing right now. So, hanging out with my dad, my old neighbor here, my good buddy there, grilling, drinking, talking to you guys, and we're gonna let you guys go and get back to your thing. And I'm gonna go, tell a story or a yarn or two. Let's see here. Somebody just asked, how long to cook medium rare, 10-ounce steak, each side for medium rare? Okay. How long?
I was salted, but a lot.
Until your thermometer tells you it's at 135. That's how long. You don't cook the time. Cook the temp. So sear it. It's probably just going to be a single hatch, not cross hatch. And you sear it on each side, pull it off. A 10-ounce steak is not going to take very long to get to medium rare, depending on the heat of your fire, which is why you can't do it by temperature or by time. All these things are different. Is it a fillet that's thick, 10 ounces, or is it a ribeye that's thin, 10 ounces? It's get you an instant read thermometer. Trust me, it'll change your life. Season and smoke with some wings. That's a good call. Hey, listen, I'm going to run. I got to take care of some other things, and I'm going to get out of here. So you guys have a good one, and I'll talk to you guys soon.